What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. I want to shift the conversation away from Call of Duty today and aim my sights directly at XDefiant, a game that I was originally extremely excited for, but my excitement has subsided a little bit over the last few months as there's been very little news surrounding it. Now, during the open session for XDefiant, I was bang on with this game. I was excited, I was honed in, I wanted to experience everything that this game had to offer, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I really did. All of my network issues aside, I found the gameplay to be extremely enjoyable and overall didn't really experience too many game-breaking issues outside of my network issues. And I honestly just believe at this point that that's more on my end than the game's end. So I'm not going to fault the game for that. What I will say, though, is that the lack of news is definitely hurting XDefiant. The fact that we still don't have a release date, the fact that the game still hasn't released isn't best case scenario for XDefiant. It's not best case scenario for Ubisoft. And the reason for that is very simple. This game is going to become a direct competitor to Call of Duty. And unfortunately, over the last few months, as the open session ended and as Call of Duty has been able to exist without really any competition, they've gained the edge again. People within the Call of Duty community believe that Modern Warfare 3 is going to be a great game. And that is because they've been able to dominate the news cycle. All of the positives that MW3 has, and I'm not trying to overshadow the positives that MW3 has, but those are bringing people towards that game. Those are influencing people to purchase that game instead of trying out XDefiant. Now, the one thing that XDefiant has that Call of Duty doesn't is a $0 barrier to entry. To play XDefiant, you need to spend $0. The game is absolutely free. And that is much different than Call of Duty. Because if you want to get MW3, you're paying that full premium price. And frankly, I feel as if XDefiant is providing more content for a better value than what Call of Duty is. But regardless of that fact, that is going to be something that is going to be very interesting to watch. Is the free-to-play model going to entice enough people to play XDefiant, try it out, give it an opportunity, versus the pay-to-play model that Call of Duty's had for years? And with that being said, though, I also feel that it's been detrimental to XDefiant's success that it's taken them so long to get approved. And I get it, the approval process is probably a long, drawn-out process. But the quicker this game could get the release, the quicker this game could get in the hands of a community that frankly right now is starved for anything new. I'm in that situation right now. I'm not really playing Call of Duty. If I am, I'm playing Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. Because MW2 sucks. It's not a game worth playing. And because of that, I feel that there is this massive void within the community that has a need to be filled. And XDefiant has that opportunity to fill it. But the longer it waits, the sooner we enter the Call of Duty life cycle. The beta comes out, Call of Duty Next comes out, all of that hype gets built up. People are going to flock back to MW2 so they can start ranking up their weapons so that they're prepared for MW3's release. And all of a sudden, look what's on the back burner. All of a sudden, look what's not getting as much attention as it probably should. XDefiant. And while, yes, I will admit, having a free-to-play format, a free-to-play barrier to entry is going to be fantastic for the game, it's not going to work if the game releases in an opportune time. One of my favorite games that have released over the last 10 years is Titanfall 2. However, that game failed because it released at the wrong time. It released smack dab in between Call of Duty and Battlefield. EA killed that game on arrival. It didn't give it an opportunity. I still believe to this day that if Titanfall 2 released in September of the year that it released, or if it released in January of the following year, it would have done far better than it being released smack dab in between Call of Duty and Battlefield 1. And that's my fear for XDefiant. The longer it waits, the less opportunity it'll have to overcome its biggest competition, which is Call of Duty. I'm not even concerned about Battlefield. I'm concerned about Call of Duty. Can you create a big enough community and a big enough impact within the community to bring players over to your game and entice them not to fall for Call of Duty this year? Because I'm going to be completely honest, the marketing for Call of Duty has been exponentially better than what we've seen for XDefiant. It has been. And they've done a very good job of getting people and persuading them to believe that MW3 is going to be different. Whereas from XDefiant, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on YouTube, if you're not entrenched within the community in any way, shape, or form, you probably forgot the game existed. You might not even know the game exists in the first place. There's people I talk about who love first-person shooters, but they don't even know XDefiant exists because the game hasn't had its opportunity to properly market itself yet. And honestly, it's got to hit the ground running once those approvals come in, because they've got to make sure that they can capture as much market share as possible to at least make Call of Duty a little bit more worried than they are right now. I think during the open session, they definitely made their mark. I think during the open session, they gave a warning shot to Activision and to Call of Duty. But the following up since then has been very disappointing. Call of Duty has answered. They have been trying to deliver a more community-driven game than what they have had in the past. And I think that is in direct response to XDefiant. So now it's up to XDefiant, once they get their approvals, once they're able to start marketing this game, to answer back, to showcase that they're going to be different. They're going to be better than Call of Duty. They're going to provide a more immersive experience. They're going to provide a better experience. And that's what I think this community needs. And I think competition is going to be healthy, because I think that's one of the biggest faults to Call of Duty over the last few years is that they've not had any healthy competition. They haven't had anybody that's been trying to steal their player base. Now, it's different on the Battle Royale side where, yeah, they do have competition. But when it comes to 6v6 arena shooters or just shooters in general from a multiplayer standpoint, there's no one out there that's good enough on a regular basis to steal their player base. Battlefield's been disappointing, Halo's been disappointing, and there's nothing like SOCOM or Medal of Honor anymore either. So there's nobody that's able to compete for that market share. So Call of Duty's just been able to suck it all up over the last few years. So my hope is, and my wish is that XDefiant is able to grab that extra market share, and they're able to actually entice people to play their game. But they need to go through their approval process first. They need to ensure that the game is okay to launch before they can market. And I'm hoping it happens sooner or later for both the health of XDefiant and to compete with Call of Duty so Call of Duty can be better. And I think if XDefiant is strong, I think if XDefiant is a good game, it'll force Call of Duty to become a better game. And that's what I'm excited for. So yeah, that's all I really have to say with this commentary today. The main reason why I wanted to make it was just to kind of talk and reflect a little bit about the whole XDefiant situation. Because I think right now, it's kind of a net negative for XDefiant, and I would love for it to become a net positive for them. I'd love for us to have a discussion in a few months that XDefiant figured it all out, they're competing directly with Call of Duty, and we have one of the most healthy landscapes for first-person shooters that we've ever had. But that'll only happen once XDefiant can go through its approvals. And if you want to find out when they're approved and when we have a release date, tune in right here to this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, including when XDefiant releases, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to leave a comment letting me know what you think about XDefiant, leave it down below in that comment section, and I'll see you guys next time.